Thank you. Thank you, Bal.
Would you take one with you?
Sure.
Shall we go right here?
Oh, I can take it. No need.
Thank you.
I take your photo. Why not? I take your photo.
Come on.
I forgot
Bal plugged in?
But I'm gonna, I'll remember it in Myrtle Beach.
Just say goodbye here. If you want to say goodbye, okay, then we're going to break at 6:30. If everybody could fold their chairs up and a couple people slide them into these canvas things up here, that would be a tremendous help. Let's see, what else? Pray, Mononash, my wife, is in charge of the weather, but, you know, every prayer counts. For those of you who missed last night, after Bal said very wisely, have the Dooney first, then I'll talk, which is totally opposite to the order we normally do things. And naturally, after we performed the Dooney, it bucketed down and we ended up in a garage, but it has a lot of precedence because Mondeley Hall was originally a garage. So, anyway, between 6:30 and 8, go eat. I mean, this is the village. Come on, guys. You can find some place to eat. I think you'll manage. And then just walk down Grove Street, turn right on 4th to Washington, towards Washington Square.
Washington Square.
Washington Square Methodist Church.
Southwest corner.
Take a right. Right down 6th Avenue.
Where do we live?
It's no West 4th.
Well, here's West 4th, right here. Go out of the house and go walk right down.
Oh, okay. Anyway, it's like 5 minutes away. Ask directions.
135 West 4th.
Huh?
135 West 4th.
135 West 4th Street, Washington Square Methodist Church. Val will talk we'll be there from 8 on, and then that's where we can all say our goodbyes and our farewells, etc. So, what have I left out? Oh, anybody who wants to be on the mailing lists and email address the Baba newsletter, see Eric Tepperman. Where are you, Eric?
You still in the front?
I'm not Eric. Ira. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Ira.
Ira, you're Ira. You can tell I'm right. So,
Well, or Angela.
or Angela. And just thank Baba that once again Bal's been allowed to visit us after all we went through last year. Thank Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Bal, are you warm enough?
Hi, yes.
Yes, and before?
No.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Jai Baba to all. It is my great pleasure to be here because this is the place where Baba had not only stayed, but also this is the place where he expressed, he told for the first time that he is the avatar. Nobody knew the meaning of the avatar at that time, but first time not in India, but here in America, in this place, Baba said that he is the avatar. And then of course avatar, he did not give any explanation, nothing about it, and people would just think that he is the avatar, means master, saint, something. But clarification afterwards he gave, the avatar and the perfect master. Who is the avatar and who is the perfect master? What is the work? So Baba said, a perfect master works for the whole universe in a general way, while the avatar, while the perfect master works for the universe in a general way, while the avatar works for the whole universe in a chosen way. A perfect master works for the selected ones in a chosen way, while avatar works for the selected ones in a special way. Now, whatever a perfect master does for the universe, it is in a general way, but the avatar works in a chosen way. What a difference is between the avatar and a perfect master, the work. Perfect master, when he drops his body, he never comes back again, because his work is only for his physical lifetime. When he drops his body, he remains one with God and no work. But the avatar, when he drops his body, he remains active. He remains active, and that's why avatar, when he drops his body, his universal manifestation does not take place immediately. It takes long time, 100 years. But then Jesus Christ, his manifestation took more than 100 years. Why so? Because the Lord did not die on the cross. He did not die on the cross. Afterwards, after 3 days resurrection, he went to different places, Burma, then India. Many years he spent there. He went to every place of pilgrimage. And ultimately, he went to Kashmir, Srinagar, and there is one place called Harwan, 6 miles away from Srinagar. There he dropped his physical body. So Meher Baba, of course, he went to Srinagar in 1929. And then, of course, Harwan, he went the same place, and he asked the Mandi members to get a cave dug there. And he was in seclusion there. And when he came out of the seclusion, he declared that when I was Jesus, I was buried here. In 1933, the Eastern and Western group, the ladies, he took them to Harwan, Srinagar, and he showed them the spot where he was buried as Jesus. Now, at that time, nobody took care. Nobody took care, and people now very anxious to know where is the spot where Lord Jesus was buried. Nobody can do. Nobody can say, because nobody knows. All Eastern and Western Mandi, of course, they are no more. Those who are still there, but they did not see. So that place is still there, and people of the village, of course, they hear something, they have heard from their forefathers. So they tell something about it. And after coming out of his seclusion, Baba, of course, he gave fish to the villagers. Big fish was there. And that cave, it is in such a place, big forest. And Baba's secretary Chanji was there. He was keeping watch there, but he would be sitting at the top of the cave, and Baba would be inside, and he would feel very much scared because he would hear the roaring of the tigers. He said, Baba, call me inside. And Baba would, one interpreter would be there. So through him, that no, you should be there. He said, I feel very much scared because the tigers are there. Baba says, it is good. If you are devoured by the tiger, you would join me. And whole night, of course, he did not allow Baba to take rest, and Baba was also enjoying. So this time we also see that here 11th September, when it happened, the fear all over. Fear was there. Everyone was thinking what has happened. But be brave. Be strong. This is all illusory phenomena. Nothing happens in reality. Everything happens in illusion. Good, bad, whatever happens, it happens in illusion. So why worry about it? Be brave. Be strong. Why I am telling this? Because Alexander, he says to me, I wanted to join young adult Savas in India. I wanted to go there, but there is something, of course, from the trust, it has come that, of course, nobody should come there, not to come. So I said, now you go there and tell them that I told you to go. So you will be free. Nobody will blame. It is not that from the beginning, when I was asked that whether young adult Savas should be continued, I said yes, of course. But I will, on 5th April they asked me. I said on 25th April, I would go give the reply, not now. And by that time I made all arrangement, and I said that pilgrim centers must reopen on 15th June. Young adult Savas must be started from 26th June, and there is no restriction. Then I came here, and then India, Pakistan, that conflict, tension. So then, of course, they were feeling scared. The parents also, they were asking the trust whether we should send the children there or not. And everyone felt scared. So they sent one email to me, their own points they discussed. And I said, all right, I have no objection, but it is not necessary. Still that circular, that instructions have come, so everyone is feeling scared whether we should go or not. Even the pilgrims who were to go, I heard one email I got. So I said that go, because I remember Baba's words when Chanji was there, the tigers were there, and Baba says it is good if you are devoured, you will come to me. So I said, when you are going for God, why to worry about this? This body, one day it goes. No one can maintain the body all the time eternally. But everyone is eternal. No doubt about it. Everyone is eternal, and of course no one dies and no one takes birth. The soul never takes birth, soul never dies. Soul is eternal, and This body, of course, this is illusory. Body takes birth, mind takes birth, and body comes. But mind does not die. Mind goes on changing the bodies, one after another. It is a long dream, and we see that dream. And dream, of course, we experience different things. This is also the medium to know oneself, real self. But it goes on and on because we remain attached with that. Always we remain attached with that. We want this, we want that. Because reality, of course, we don't experience. And even if in words, people just talk about reality, there are so many, always they talk about reality. All the religions, they talk about reality. It is not that they don't talk, but it is just a talk. Once Baba was in Nasik, Meher retreat was there, one of the place in India. It was in the year 1937. So the group, Eastern and Western group, both the groups were there. And then there was World Conference of Religion. So delegates from different religions came there. And the conference went on for 3 days. Baba was not religious, so he was not invited. Now what happened after the conference was over, there was one man, his name was Malcolm Sloss. So Malcolm Sloss would write poetry, and his poetry would be published in magazines, newspapers. So one clergyman came to see Malcolm Sloss. He came to know that Malcolm Sloss is here. So he came and he met him, and he had talked with Malcolm Sloss. And he asked him, "Why are you here? What is the reason for you to be here?" Malcolm Sloss says, "I am with Meher Baba." "Who is Meher Baba?" He says, "He is my master." "I want to see him." So Malcolm Sloss was very, very happy. He thought that out of 200 delegates, only one has come and he wants to see Baba. So he came running to Baba. "Oh Baba, good news." Baba says, "What is good news?" He says that out of 200 delegates, only one clergyman has come here and he wants to see you. Baba says, "Why this headache? You just talk and send him back." And he says, No, Baba, he wants to see you." Baba says, "All right, 5 minutes. So Malcolm Sloss brought him. Baba always he would embrace, he embraced him, and he was sitting. And Baba says, "How was that conference?" "Oh, it went off very well." Baba says, "Yes, this means all religions." So Shankaracharya means head of Hindu religion. He's a nice person, but he talks and talks and talks. And the clergyman says, "It was not the Shankaracharya, it was me who was talking all the time." And the Shankaracharya was sitting like a cat. And Baba says, "Yes, he is a nice man, but he talks and talks and talks." He says, "I'm telling you that he did not speak a word before me. He had no courage to speak. He was sitting like a cat there." Then Baba says, "This Imam means head of Islam. Nice person, but he talks and talks and talks." He says, you don't understand? I am telling you, nobody had any courage to speak a word before me. I was talking all the time. Baba says, yes, they are all good people, but they just talk and talk and talk. He said, what has happened to you? Why don't you talk? Baba says, I observe silence. Why I observe silence? Because you people talk. So, I observe silence. He said, I don't understand. What do you mean by this? Baba says, you don't understand because you go to Rome. And I know because I am always at home. At home, Rome means you are just engaged involved with rituals and ceremonies. And I know because I am always at home. He is always there. He exists. And he exists actively. He is always active. Even he drops his body, he is active. His active knowledge, his active power, and his active bliss. Baba has said that when he is in physical form, he does not use his power and bliss for his universal work. He enjoys, but he cannot use for his universal work. After he has dropped his body, now he is free to use his infinite power and infinite bliss for his universal work. And this is the reason Avatar, when he comes down on earth, his manifestation takes place after 100 years. After 100, because at that time he uses his infinite power. So this is the time he has been using his infinite power. And that's why people are coming to him. They don't know how they come. They don't know. There is some medium they find out. And medium means sometimes they hear about him, or sometimes they see the film, or sometimes some friends tell them, now here this house where Baba stayed in 1931, those who are here, how fortunate they are. How fortunate they are. They don't know what connection they have with him. Nobody knows. But the connection is there. They are really blessed. And that's why they have got this opportunity to be here. Where not only he came and stayed here, but the first time he declared as he is the Avatar. Avatar, of course, it is not easy for the people to accept. And in India also, India at that time when Baba came here, people would take him as a perfect master or saint. Even if you go to Sakori Upasni Maharaj's ashram, they say Sant Upasni Maharaj. They don't know the difference between a saint and a perfect master. Perfect master is the one who passes through the process of evolution, and in man form, of course, he gets realization, becomes one with God. When you become one with God, of course, you don't have consciousness of the creation. You don't know. You are in God state. And creation does not exist. It exists only in non-existence. So, no consciousness of creation, he remains in God state. But one who comes down in creation consciousness, he is called perfect master, because he has got certain work for the universe to do. So he does universal work. But when he drops his body, then of course he is one with God, but not creation consciousness. So he cannot do anything. But the Avatar is the one who God comes down on earth, he does not pass through evolution and involution of consciousness, because his descent is direct. As God he comes down, the Father comes down as Son. Father state, no creation consciousness. Father is Father. Father exists. But without creation consciousness, there nothing exists besides him. But Son is the state where, of course, Son knows that I am God and I am everyone and everything. And therefore, Son can work for the universe. For him, creation is there. And he is always bound with the creation, always remains bound with the creation, and he works. So now, when he works, of course, he has to, we are all in ignorance, we don't know what is the truth. Truth, even we just use our intellect, what is truth? We use the reason, and why, and then why this, this why is so much, it is so much developed. Why the reason? But here, of course, God, in the state of God, there is no why, because he alone exists. So where is the question of why? There is no question, why does not exist there. So he has to take care of this why. Because now this is the age, very intellectual age, and we have to deal with so many things. For anything, why? And why? And then of course we find out the answer. But that answer, because that is not real answer. Baba has said that there is only one question. And what is that question? Who am I? And what is the answer of that question? I am God. In between whatever answers are there, they are all false answers. Soul in us asks, who am I? And this mind, it gives the answer. You are stone, you are vegetable, you are worm, you are fish, you are bird, you are animal, and you are man. You are man, you are woman, you are rich, you are poor, you are in this nation or in that nation. It just goes on and on. And it all depends upon our deeds which we perform. And when we perform any deed, this mind, of course, stores the impressions of the deeds which we perform. As you sow, so you will reap. So mind, of course, it plays the mischief. It is the devil. And this devil, it becomes our friend. We know this and we know that. Devil knows. We don't know. Devil knows. And we think that we know. You don't know. You are the real one. What you have to know? You have to know only one thing, that you are everything. You are knowledge, you are power, you are bliss, and that nothing exists besides you. This is the real thing. But this mind knows so many things. So many things just go on thinking and thinking, imagining. So this imagination is false. Whatever we think, it is false. There should be one thinking. There should be one imagination. And what is that thinking? Thinking that I am God. And what is the imagination? It should be infinite. And when infinite imagination is there, indivisible infinite imagination. So we have to become indivisible. Where there is no division, where there is division, then that is illusion. In reality, there is no division. It remains only one, and that one reality is in everyone, and that reality, of course, we have to experience. But how fortunate you are that you are in the process of knowing the reality. You have already entered into the process. Now, the situation is such that when you are in the process, just like the birds, when the birds are in the net, they cannot get out of the net. So when he comes down on earth, what does he do? He spreads the net. He spreads the net, and then net, when he spreads, so birds cannot come. Birds need something to eat. So at a distance he takes. He goes to the distance and spreads the grain. And then the birds come and they eat. He hides himself, otherwise the bird will not come. Then little closer. By that time the bird become very bold. So then he spreads the grain near the net, and then they are caught up. When they are caught up in the net, then his real compassion starts. He can twist the neck, he can do anything. Then the birds cannot go out, and this is real compassion. This is real compassion. So now you have come, you are caught up in the net, and then whatever you just cry, I want this, I want that, I am caught up there, you cry, he enjoys. But he would not stop just crushing you. That is the time. Very fortunate, that is the real compassion you are enjoying. Enjoying means outwardly, of course, you don't know that. Outwardly different things, but one day you will enjoy. When in 1958, 2nd December 1956, there was another accident in India. Baba met with an accident. And now after that accident, Baba, after some time, he was in Pune, and then at that time, it so happened, Baba had, in advance, he had sent circular that nobody should come to see him and nobody should write to him. And he was in seclusion. At that time, this accident took place, and according to his order, nobody could come and see Baba. But one person came, and he said that, I want to see Baba. And one of the Malli members told him that no, Baba is in seclusion, Baba does not see anyone. He says, since the time I have heard that Baba met with an accident, I have stopped drinking water and eating food. So until the time I see him, I will not eat and I will not drink. So then Baba, someone went, that Malli member went to Baba and told Baba that this man, of course, we tried to tell him different things not to see Baba, but he insists. So Baba said, go and tell him that I am all right, he should not worry. He should not worry, I am all right. He should go back, eat and drink. And he was told. But he says, no, unless I see Baba with my own eyes, I will not eat and I will not drink. Baba says, all right, call him. So he comes to Baba. As soon as Baba saw him, he says, what do you want? He says, I want your blessing. Baba says, blessing? Never ask my blessing. Never ask my blessing. You cannot digest my blessing. I know what do you want. I know it. So tell me, what do you want? He says, I want your blessing. Again I am giving you warning. Don't ask my blessing, you will never be able to digest my blessing. So tell me, what do you want and I will give you. He says, I want your blessing. And Baba says, all right, I give you 1 month. Baba was in Pune at that time. 1 month I give you. And then I would be there at Mehrazad. And 1 month ends on my birthday, 25th February. You come there, decide, think over that, and then tell me what do you want. After 1 month you come. So he left. After 1 month, Baba was there at Mehrazad, and Baba says, if you want to celebrate my birthday, I just want to have a program, a poor program. 701 poor I want, and I would do my work. And everyone of course was thinking, how is it possible for Baba? Baba cannot walk, cannot bend, and when he calls the poor, of course he washes the feet, then of course he bows down to them. How is it possible? But Baba said, no, I will do this program. You bring 701 one poor people. And according to his order we did. Baba was sitting on the floor. He would not be able to walk, he would not be able to stand. But that day, of course, he sat down and he was washing the feet and bowing down 701, and he was looking so bright, very bright, something great he was doing, so very bright. After this program, of course, Baba came to the Mandli hall, and then what happens? This man, of course, came. He was from Pune. So came, Baba says, now tell me, what do you want? He says, I want your blessing. I told you, still you are asking my blessing. It will not be, you will not be able to digest it. He says, I want your blessing. Still you want, all right, given. Now go. He goes. It happened on 25th February 1957. And then of course Baba, every year Baba would go to Pune on 15th of March. So Baba went to Pune on 15th of March. And what happens? That man, he was the only one standing near the gate. Nobody was allowed to see Baba, but he was there. But Baba's car passed away, and Baba did not say anything. He was there from morning to evening. And in the evening, Iraj was walking in the compound there. So he says, Iraj. So Iraj says, yes, what do you want? He says, I want to say something, please come to me. So Iraj went to him, and he says that, now I am in a very bad plight. My family members, my wife, my children, they are on the street. I lost my house, I lost everything. Please tell Baba. Iraj says that Baba had already told you. Why did you insist upon his blessing? You wanted his blessing. Then of course, why do you complain? No, that was my mistake. Now please go and tell Baba. So then Iraj went to Baba, and he says that this is his situation. Now there is no place for him to live in, no money. Baba said, what to do? I gave him warning, told him, and still he insisted that I should give him blessing. And now he is complaining. All right, ask him to come tomorrow. So the next day, 9 o'clock he came, and Baba says, I had told you not to ask for my blessing. He said that was a mistake, Baba, but please just make me free from this plight. Baba said, then I have to take back my blessing. He said, you do whatever you like. You do whatever you like, but just make me free from this plight. Baba says, all right, wash your feet. So he washed his feet, and Baba bowed down to him 101 times. Continuously bowed down, and he gave him 1,000 rupees. Now he goes to Bombay. Immediately he got partnership in the ship company and bungalow and car. Afterwards, one weekend he comes in a car, family members well dressed, everything. And Baba asked him, how are you? By your blessing, I am very happy. Baba says, this is not my blessing. You are happy, I am happy. So, but this is not my blessing. Then next week again he came, and Baba says, how are you? By your blessing, I am very happy. Baba says, I told you, this is not my blessing. You are happy, it is good. But this is not my blessing. My blessing, of course, it is quite different thing. It is quite different thing you could not digest. So last night I told you, there were some, they have heard this. There was one saint, Kripal Singh. His followers are here in East and West. So Baba, in 1956, before the accident, Baba asked Airaj to go to all these masters and saints and tell them that this one is my dear child. So Airaj went round and told everyone that Meher Baba has said that you are his dear child. Response from them was no, good they heard. But when he went to this Saint Kripal Singh, and Airaj told him, oh, I am very happy that I am Meher Baba's dear child. How fortunate I am. I want to see him. And Airaj said, Baba is in seclusion. Baba does not see anyone. So, of course, but I will go and tell him. And if he accepts to see you, then I will let you know. He said, yes, please, let me know, because I am very, very anxious to see him. So Airaj came to Baba. And he gave all the history, what happened to different saints and masters. And then he told about this Sant Kripal Singh. So Baba says that, all right, I will see him. So Baba fixed the time and date. And Airaj informed him. Just a day before the saint came, along with his followers, Easterners and Westerners, Baba gave me one line. One who knows everything displaces nothing. And he said that make a board and hang behind my chair. So I did it. Next day the saint comes. He was very humble, very polite. Along with his followers, Baba met everyone. And then he wanted to talk with Baba privately. So he asked his followers to sit outside. And he asked different questions, different things, and Baba answered. And then he says, Baba, I met your followers in India as well as in the West. And I asked them what experience they have. And they said that they don't have any experience. Why don't you give them some experience? Baba says, I don't have any experience. How can I give? No, Baba, it is necessary. It is necessary, you must give them experience. He said, I don't know what you are talking, but experience, there is one mad man with me. He always talks about experience. So you just go and ask him. It was Kekobad. So Kekobad, he would see glimpse of God. Now just the glimpse. And of course, he was just thinking that he had God realization. The glimpse is also glimpse of divinity is so powerful that when you see that glimpse, of course, you just lose the consciousness. You cannot retain your consciousness when you see that glimpse. So he was taken to this Kekobad. Both were sitting and Baba came out and he was sitting with his followers, saints' followers, and he was chatting with them. Now, the saint asked Kekobad, "Will you please tell me your experience?" He said, "Experience you are asking? How can I tell the experience in words? Experience is to be experienced. I cannot tell in words, but in nutshell, I tell you. Do you see the sun?" He says, "Yes, I see the sun. How bright it is?" "Oh, it is very bright." "It is very bright?" "Yes, it is very bright, of course. It gives light to the whole world." And Kekobad says, "The light which I see, even light of thousands of sun is compared to that light is just nothing. I don't retain my consciousness. I lose my consciousness." And he said, "Oh, this is the grace of Baba. Because of the grace of Baba, you get this experience." So he came running, very, very happy. He came running and he tells Baba that, "Baba, this is because of your grace he is having this experience." Baba says, "Do you know my grace? My grace is complete ruination. If my grace falls, complete ruination. That is my grace." And what is that complete ruination? Your false self, of course, it disappears. Complete ruination. And then, of course, you know who you are. That is my grace. And then Baba asked him to read that line, "One who knows everything displaces nothing." So he read and he just kept quiet. One who knows everything displaces nothing, does not perform. Who knows everything, he does not perform miracle. Because what is there? Miracle, this we think of very great thing. There was one perfect master. And that perfect master, of course, perfect master always live in secluded place. They don't collect the crowd. They don't, of course, give long lecture. Their ways are quite different. So this perfect master had his followers and he would be living with the followers and working for the universe. But there were many saints and masters, so-called, thousands of followers. So now this master, he would not see anyone. And one day, one person came and he wanted to see the master. And the master said, "No, I cannot see." Tell him that I cannot see anyone. The time will come for that, then I will see. So he was told. So he went to a yogi who had thousands of followers, thousands. And he says that now you have got so many followers here, and I went to that Sadguru. He calls himself as Sadguru, but he does not see anyone. Should I go and challenge him? And the yogi says, "Yes, go and challenge him." So that man again comes back, and what happens? This time, when the master came to know that the same person has come back again, so Baba says, "Yes," that Sadguru says, "Yes, come, call him." So he was called. And the Sadguru asked him, "What do you want from me?" He says, I want to know that whether you are a perfect master. He says, yes, I am a perfect master. What miracles do you perform? He says, I don't perform any miracle. Then how can you be a perfect master? You have no power. Just see my yogi. He performs so many miracles, and that's why so many persons follow him. You have no power and you just call yourself as the perfect master. So the perfect master says, your yogi, whatever he does, it is just a child's play. Child's play? Should I go and tell the yogi? He says, yes, yes, go and tell him. So he goes and tells the yogi. And the yogi says that you will see, I will make this perfect master bow down to me. Just wait. And the perfect master himself gives him the opportunity. He left that place and he was going to another place. And what happened? The river was there. So he was sitting on the bank of the river waiting for the boat. And the yogi came to know. He said, today is the opportunity for me. Come on. He took all the thousands of his followers. Today I will make this perfect master bow down to me. Come on. So he went. And the perfect master is still chit-chatting with the disciples, waiting for the boat. Now he comes and looks at the perfect master, enters into the river, walks down on the water and crosses the river. And when he goes to another bank, he says, oh perfect master, did you see my power? Now come and bow down to me. And the perfect master says, yes, I saw. You are really very, very powerful. You came, you went walking on the water and you crossed the river. Really very powerful. But do you know, I am waiting for the boat. When the boat will come, I will pay 1 penny and I will cross the river. So your power is worth 1 penny. And when he heard, he said, yes, he is right. He is right. My power, of course, just worth 1 penny. So he himself comes and bows down to him. So perfect masters, they don't show any miracle. Avatar, rarely. I tell you, one day Baba said, because of his work, Lord Jesus had to show some miracle. But people may not follow because of his miracles, and that's why he got crucified. So that they should just forget about his power. They should come for his love. In order to love, so he prepared the world, and then the world came to him because of his love. Not because of the miracle, because he performed miracle, he got crucified. Could he not save himself? Could he not? When he gave life to the dead, he gave sight to the blind. Could he not save himself? But he never wanted that people should follow him because of these miracles. And that's why he went to that extent that he got himself crucified. And that is the greatness, glory of God. That is the glory. They don't care what they have to achieve. They have already achieved. So they have nothing to do with the world. They help the world. Help the world and they suffer. What is their suffering? Why Baba was suffering all the time? Still he is suffering. Physical, mental and then spiritual. 3 types of suffering. Now physical body he has dropped, but he is suffering mentally and spiritually. That suffering is still there. He is not free from that suffering. Always he suffers, and he is the one, always he is in charge of the creation. A perfect master is not in charge. He is the worker. He is a perfect master is the executor of the divine plan. While the avatar is the master and the executor of the divine plan, he can change. He can change, he can make any alteration he wants. It is all in his hand. But his plan, there is also certain things which has to be changed or alter. So only he has that authority to do it. A perfect master cannot do it. And then the third thing, he gives universal push. Universal push, no perfect master can give. No perfect master has the authority to give universal push. Only the avatar gives universal push. And what is that universal push? Push right from stone to human being. Stone, vegetable, worm, fish, bird, animal, and human being. So this, you will just say that what push he gives to the stone, what push he gives to the vegetable. Now the process of, natural process of evolution of consciousness is very much exploited. Exploited because of human beings. Human beings are using this all these lower kingdoms for their own benefits. Just like now we have got big houses, this, that. Now, if you go to the mountain, what do you see? That when in rainy season algae comes, and then disintegration is there, and through disintegration, natural process. So then afterwards that disintegration takes place, and after a long time, of course, that stone enters into vegetable kingdom. But now we just crush the stone and this cement and different things, misuse we are making. Misuse, but this is far useful for us. But natural process is disturbed. Vegetable kingdom, breeding, cross-breeding, so many things. Animal kingdom, the same thing. So the natural process is very much exploited. So it requires universal push. And that's why the avatar, God, has to take form, and then of course he has to give universal push. The time is coming for that. 33 years have passed. Still 67 years are there. But those who have come in his contact, not that you have come, but he has brought, he is working for that. His work is quite different. He has to work for everyone and everything. It is not that he would neglect because you follow, so he will take care, and those who do not follow him, he will not take care. His universal manifestation, it is for all, but there is difference. Those who have come in his contact, means he has brought, so they will get the difference in awareness. Awareness, it will differ from person to person, but everyone, of course, will have to get awareness, and that awareness, that is, he will be, that low desires will be minimized to great extent. It will for the whole world, and that time will come, and people will realize. We just talk about brotherhood, we talk about oneness. Oneness, when the mind is there and mind is working, how is it possible to experience oneness? Oneness we can experience when this mind goes away. Then we will know that we are all one. Otherwise, this talk of oneness, we are all one platform talk. It just goes on and go on. It has no meaning. Only God exists. God alone exists. Nothing exists besides him. And God is indivisible. That God in everyone, divisions are not there. This manyness which we see, it is nothing but illusion. We are one in real sense, but we don't realize it. And that's why he has to come come back again and again. When he comes back, of course he works for that. He suffers and then afterwards what happens, that awareness comes. Awareness comes after 100 years after the dropping the body. Awareness comes, but 400-500 years, and again the devil, this mind, which bows down to him, then again he starts raising head. Raising heads, when he stands up, then he is very, very powerful. Then again he has to come back. Again he has to come back. So it just goes on and on. This creation, just like God is infinite and God is eternal, this creation is also eternal. It will go on and on, because when one drop says, who am I? It is out of the ocean. Then who am I? Another drop. Who am I? Another drop. So ocean is infinite. So these drops, infinite number of drops are there. So it will go on. Creation will not stop. Only once, of course, sometimes it stops. And how? Total annihilation, Mahapralaya. When Mahapralaya takes place, all the forms, they disappear. And this mind of everyone, limited mind, takes rest in the universal mind for a long time, and again the creation starts. So now we have got this human consciousness. We are not going to lose this consciousness. This consciousness will be there, but mind will become so tired that we will need rest for a long time. In Lord Meher, you must have read somewhere that the time comes when 6 inches of man, the height is just 6 inch, but head big, and that head works, and then of course that tired one becomes, that mind becomes tired, and it takes rest for a long time. So I had been to Maharashtra in India. There was one political leader, and of course he is a Baba lover. So he says to me, he asked me question that, of course you have written that, but I cannot understand 6 inch man, how he can drive the aeroplane. And I said, but this technology will change. It will not remain the same. The aeroplane you will not see. Another technology will come for 6 inch man. So at that time, what happens? Mind becomes so tired that it needs rest. So Mahapralaya. Mahapralaya is that all forms disappear, and then of course each individual mind takes rest in this universal mind, and for a long time, and then again creation starts, and that creation first stone. So minds, all the minds of the stone, they come. Then vegetable, then afterwards worm, fish, bird. So when then human beings, that opportunity comes for the human being, those minds take human form. So we don't lose consciousness. Whatever consciousness we have gained, it remains there, but it takes rest, limited mind in universal mind. This time Baba has said that 3/4 of the world will be destroyed. Means not total annihilation, but partial annihilation is there. So then of course once New York is the place, something happens here. And what happened? I came here and there was radio, television interview, and the question came that about 3/4 of the world. So I have already written in that book the avatar of the age, Meher Baba manifesting, that 3/4 of the impressions will be destroyed. When Baba said 3/4 of the world will be destroyed, so 3/4 of the impressions, the desires, they will be destroyed. But then, of course, the question come. Baba has said in his own language that when he said the 3/4 of the world is going to destroyed, then it is in his language. Yes, that is right. In his language he has said this. So in his language, but then when this question came, and then of course I received the questions that Baba has said this, and how do you say that 3/4 of the world will be destroyed? I said, yes, how did I say? But then again the thoughts came that everyone has got innumerable impressions. Now innumerable impressions everyone has, but when you have come in his contact, what is happening? He is wiping out the impression gradually. Gradually up to 100 years, these impressions will be wiped out. So you will not have innumerable impressions. Say about 20 million impressions are there. So 3/4 of the impressions will be wiped out. You will not get so much shock. So much shock will not be there. So then of course you can maintain the body. But those who have innumerable impressions, and at the end, when his universal manifestation will take place, he has said that I will throw the spiritual bomb. And spiritual bomb, that spiritual bomb means immediate action. Immediate action will be there. So there will be many who will have innumerable impressions. So it will be very difficult for them to maintain the body. But when they will come back again, that awareness will be there, because 3/4 of the impressions will be wiped out. Then I just thought that I must tell this, otherwise there is that Baba has said this. What happened? There was the meeting in 1954 at Meherabad, declaration meeting. In that declaration meeting, on 30th of September, Baba declared that he 3/4 of the world will be destroyed. Then he said that he would discard his alphabet board. Then alphabet board, and then he said he would be in seclusion, and nobody should come and see him, nobody should correspond with him. And then he said that of course someone will step on my back and I will drop the body. Now when this happened, people of course they could not understand what to do now. They had come for the meeting. So with tears they went back and they wrote letters to Baba saying that 7 days were there. After 7 days, 7th October, he was to drop the alphabet board and enter into seclusion. So they wrote letters to Baba saying that Baba, now you are just your connection, you are breaking connection with us. We have no means to contact you, no correspondence, we cannot see you. So please, why do you do that? Have some mercy on us. And so many letters were collected. 7th day, 7th October, Baba said, now whether you have received letters. So we have received, Iraj had received many letters, I had received many letters. So we read out. In every letter there was this, that you are just disconnecting yourself from us. How can we live without you? And then Baba gave a message for all. And that was that he said that don't worry, I am not disconnecting myself from you. How can I do this? I am in you. It is not possible for me to disconnect, but I am disconnecting the external connection so that I may draw you closer and closer. How true this message is now. How true this message. He has dropped his physical body, but he cannot leave us. He is just drawing us closer and closer. That work he is still doing, and he has to do it. For that purpose, of course, he takes the form. So this message which he has given at that time, it is very true now. Very true. So we should not. And then of course afterwards that accident took place, and then there was again the Sahwas program. Now Sahwas program, and Baba wanted East and West Sahwas program together. And together, so Dr. Ghaver, he would say, Baba, how is it possible? You are running temperature, you can't walk. And how you want to have this Sahwas program, East and West together? And just see what Baba says, that don't worry. For Indians, of course, I will give my Sahwas at Mehrabad. And for West, I will go to America and Australia. And everyone accepted. Whether there was more exertion in going to West, but everyone accepted. And then what happened? That this Sahwas program, 58, so Pendu was the one who would always organize any program. Baba would give that duty to him. He also met with severe accident. He would not be able to walk. So Baba sent him to Mehrabad. And he was at Mehrabad. Dr. Duncan was Mehrabad. He would look after Pendu. So Baba said, now this Sahwas program, so Pendu should be called. So all 4 persons who were there at Mehrabad, Pendu, Vishnu, Padri and Dr. Duncan, they were called to Mehrabad. Now they came. We were sitting in the Mandi hall. Baba's mood, when we saw Baba's mood, what changed? We had no courage. Pendu, he was using crutches, fumbling, but we could not go and help him. Could not, we were just sitting there. And Pendu came and others came. And then Baba asked Pendu, that says that, did you sleep last night? Pendu says, how can I sleep? So much pain is there, I cannot sleep, I cannot eat. I cannot bear it. It is too much for me. And Baba says, how selfish you are. How selfish you are. You are suffering for yourself. I am suffering for the whole universe. Did you ever think about my suffering? You are thinking about your suffering, which is just nothing. I don't want to give you work. Such a selfish person cannot do my work. I don't want. Now get out. So he had to go out. Everyone who had come from Mehrabad, they came. And there was one Jimmy Mistry. He was the person, first time he came to Mehrabad, and he was allowed to be there for a month. And when he saw this, he was just shivering. Shivering. And when Pendu left, Baba says, in order to become infinitely compassionate, I have to become infinitely cruel. That is real compassion. Apparently it appears that how Baba behaved with him, it is really real compassion. Real compassion. It is not that he does not care. No. That is real compassion. I said that when the bird is in the net, of course he has the right to give twist. He would not care for that, and that is necessary. And that's why Baba said that my grace is complete ruination. So that is the grace, and that's why whatever situation we pass through, of course we depend upon Him. You can complain to Him, there is nothing wrong, because you belong to Him. He belongs to you. You can say anything to Him, you are free. But make it a point that this is, you are doing this in order to remember Him. It is for Him to help you, or He does not help you. Even He does not help you, that is His help, because that is not necessary for you, and that's why He does not give. But you can say out, there is nothing wrong. This relationship is between you and the beloved, and no one comes under that. You are very free. Just go out, but don't just say that this happened to me when I asked Baba and Baba gave me. Don't tell, don't announce this, don't declare this. Only thing, you keep it for yourself and Baba is pleased. But know well that in order to remember Him, you are doing this, and just leave everything to Him. If you want, of course, you do it. If you don't want, don't do it. I just remember you through this medium. This is very simple thing. We must have hope. Our beloved, very, very compassionate. He will never ignore anyone. One thing I tell you, I was also very much amazed that Baba has put that there is one memorial tower which is to be constructed at Mehrabad, and those who worked for Baba, who sacrificed for Baba, who dedicated, surrendered to Baba, so their names should be put inscribed in the memorial tower. So I was going through the list, and what did I find? The name of Colonel Irani. Colonel Irani was the person who was always working against Baba. He created so much trouble that all Persian Irani community, of course, he turned against Baba. Till the end, he was doing this. He never accepted, but he continued. He would remember when he became very old, so he would not go to place to give lecture or publish book against Baba. One booklet he had published, Meher Baba the hoax, and he was taking that booklets to Bangalore, where Baba was staying at that time, and 2 trucks and trucks turned down. And then, but still he did not discontinue. He continued his work against Baba, and his name is to be inscribed in the memorial tower. Why? Because he was sincere. He was remembering him all the time. He was remembering him all the time. He did not know that. He did not know he was doing that, but he was very, very honest even he would not be able to sleep properly. Restless he would be all the time, going here and there telling about Baba. So Baba, of course, cannot ignore anyone, whether worst sinners. Don't think that because he is in them, so how can he? And that's why that prayer which Baba had given, you alone exist. You alone exist. That prayer, it is in my name. Actually, Baba had composed that. He composed that prayer. He asked me to compose one prayer, and he had given one line, and on that line, of course, I composed 7 couplets. And at night when I went to him, he said, "Did you compose the prayer?" I said, "Yes." "Bring it." So I brought, and then what happened? That I read out to him, and Baba was in a mood. So he was composing. He was doing this, playing that drum on his thigh, that rhythm, and he would just dictate me one couplet. I would write, and then by that time another couplet. 21 couplets he composed, and in that he has said that I am bug, I am a stone, I am vegetable, I am worm, I am devil, I am everything. And people, of course, prayer means it is not the prayer. But then what happened that when people would come to Baba, Baba would ask his brother's son to sing that prayer, and he would sing. And one day it so happened that one person, he was laughing at me because my name is there, laughing at me. That I said, why do you laugh? He says, this is the prayer you have composed. I am bug, I am mosquito, I am this. This is the prayer. And I said to him, I did not say anything to him. I went to Baba because I had to keep watch. And I said to him, Baba, should I change this prayer? Change? What do you want to change? Some better words. Baba says, you have no importance, you don't know the importance of this prayer. This is the only prayer which depicts the all-pervading nature of God. I'm in everything. I'm in devil. I'm a sinner. I'm in sinner. I'm everyone. You cannot exclude me from anything. So this prayer is the only prayer which depicts all-pervading nature of God. So that prayer, of course, he said, it will be sung and recited in every house. You have no idea the importance of this prayer. And I tell you, this is the truth, that he is all compassionate. Nothing he does against his compassion. He is not cruel at all. When he appears cruel, know well that when he twists the neck of the bird, know well that it is for good. For the good of the bird. He cannot ignore anyone. Even he is ignored. He is ignored by the human beings, but he cannot ignore, and that's why he has to come again and again, because when he is ignored, then he has to come back and give the awareness. He cannot punish anyone. He is the Lord of forgiveness. Always he just forgives. He forgives. Time is there.
Where's Shiva? Shiva?
8 fingers.
Huh?
Fingers.
8 fingers.
Fingers.
8 fingers.
8 minutes.
In my watch it is 5:10.
Good. That's a good watch. That's a good watch.
What is the time? Huh?
He's giving you a watch stuff. You've lost one already.